now I feel guilty wanting to talk for a few minutes. I hope I'm half of what you just said. I've held it together. In fact, I feel guilty that I haven't shown my students more emotion than I have. But real honestly, there's other stuff. My dad's going through some tough times, and so that's kind of good. And I'm sure sometimes someone's thinking, but I knew in the fall this was going to be kind of it, and I've enjoyed the ride to this point, and I continue. And I know at some point this summer it's going to hit me like, holy crap, I'm not going back to school. It hasn't really sunk in completely yet, but I'm excited about it. I'm in a good place, and I wish that for you all. So I am so nervous I actually typed notes, because there's a couple of things. I'm going to try to keep to 5 minutes or less, I promise. First of all, I want to point out my shirt that I wore for my friend was Wecker. My wife actually had to say there's something about being a journalism legend, and then it has 36 on the back for a number of years. And I didn't realize even being a Giant fan, Gaylord Perry wore 36. So for those of you that are Giant fans, he's famous for his spitter. So you guys are in trouble. I always talk in 3 parts. Thank you, my story, and Mariano Rivera. So I'm going to try to keep those. First of all, I want to thank you, the teachers in particular. I told you before, you're superheroes. You are the best staff in the country that a student media advisor could ask for. Your openness and willingness to support the student media students and let them in, you have no idea. I travel the country and I hear about all the nightmares they face. And I think about how kind and open you all are and how blessed I have been to be here. I could not have fallen into a better position. But the group of people I really want to thank, and I think only some of them here, is our office support staff. Some of them are here. So Julie, Kelly, would you guys stand, please? Linda, Donna, Mark, stand up! Alicia, stand up. Lori, both you! But we have amazing teachers, but if Rockland High is a home, this is our frame. These people are remarkable. And not only in their kindness and friendship, but the things they do for us. All of us, but especially my students. I really want to be able to thank you as a group. You all are amazing. So thank you so, so much for making my life better. Also, I want to thank almost all our administrators through the years. Perhaps one notable exception. And especially John Thompson and Ryan Spears leading special programs. Again, that's a big part of what we have to do. The counseling department in general, and especially also our VAPA people, the performing arts people in particular, are so open and welcoming to our media students and and plus this is the amazing stuff you all do that makes our job easier. So again, I want to thank them. I want to point out that I'm particularly proud of Lissa and Morgan and Mike Knight, all of whom I had in class. Mike and Lissa in middle school. And Greg Benzel, who survived student teaching with me many years ago. So it's kind of cool when you're the old guy and you get to have those kind of connections. If I stayed much longer, I'd probably have grandchildren, so that would not be amazing. And especially to the other one, and I say this all the time when I'm not talking about it, all our special needs providers, teachers and aides. I always tell people that the special needs population at Rockland High is the beating heart of our school, across the board. It has made this school so much richer through the years, the way we integrate with them, and you all have a part of that. Like, it's one of the many things that makes Rockland High special. So I deeply, deeply appreciate you and the cool stuff you do. Okay? Now it gets hard, because Frank always cries. And I've tried hard not to, even though I am a crier. The 3 individuals I want to thank are Frank Shields. He has, for the last 25 years, become one of my best friends. I always call him my work best friend. You know, you have to have a play best friend. Frank is truly one of the best people I know on the planet. He's an amazing husband. I don't even know where he is because I don't want to look at him. Amazing father, amazing grandfather. He's a wonderful teacher. He's the most loyal friend I've ever had. He will do anything for you and think nothing of it. I hope you all next year show him what an amazing person he is, like he showed me. So Frank, I love you, and I appreciate you more than I can possibly say. And coaching your daughters, teaching Mark Hardy's kids, and your other kids, that's among the greatest honors I've had. And second one's equally hard. I can't be here because Carson's in sixth grade promotion right now. I'm missing it. I'm the bad guy. My wife has had to, I don't think she knew what she got, she knew what she bargained for when she married an older man, because since I was diagnosed in 2006, it's been a rough ride sometimes. And I would not have made it this far without her. I wouldn't have lived through the initial diagnosis, quite honestly, except as I think I told you, she was 10 weeks pregnant, and I thought perhaps I should stay around. But I would not have had the finish that I did without her inspiration, her love, her caring, her belief in me. Even when sometimes I had doubts, she kept me going. The reason I taught to almost 65, I got my Medicare card this year, is because I love what I do. And if I was healthy, I'd probably keep doing it. But also, because she believed in me so much, and believed that I could make a difference, and believed that I could continue to be relevant. I plan on continuing to be relevant beyond this, just so we're clear. I'm not dying. But Sarah has been the greatest gift of my life, and so I wish she was here so that I could say that to her, so I asked Brian to take it so she could hear it. And last but not least, I want to, I told you about my mom and how she taught us to feel change. Well, my dad is 94. Right now, real honestly, he's making a decision about whether he's going to live or not. He's pretty sick. I think he's going to. Who knows? But the gift he gave to my siblings and I is one that we do service without reservation. And we expect nothing for it. He was the model of that. He served in World War II. He was a navigator in B-17s. Served in many, many capacities. And is truly a selfless man. And served as a tremendous role model for us. And I view teaching as service. Teaching, I wanted to be of service. That's what mattered to me, to help other people. I happened to fall into teaching. There could have been other things. And it's been a great career for me. And I'll still do some of it. So part two, instead of my story, I'm going to do something my dad only did one time. I'm going to give you some advice. I'll never forget, it was actually at the dedication of his park. He said, I don't really do this, but I'm going to give you some advice. So I'm going to try. I can remember. Number one, before the first one, remember you are superheroes. You are an amazing staff. Treat each other that way. Respect each other, listen to each other. That's awesome. But in that, one of the things I try to do is every decision I make, I try to remember, is this going to make my life better or easier? Or both? And if it's not, I pretty much don't do it. When I was 40, I wasn't that smart. When I was 50, I probably wasn't that smart. At 65, I'm that smart. If it doesn't make my life better and easier, I don't do it. I also always remind myself family first. So some of you with younger families especially remember that. Family first. Things will happen here and it'll be fine. But keep your family in mind. Then and I told Josh this today, we were talking, and I'm so grateful for Josh being here. You guys are going to love him. But I always try to remind myself with my students that I care more about them as a person than I do as a student, and I care more about them as a student than I do a yearbook staffer or a golfer or whatever else they are. And I always try to keep those in line. And I believe that since I started teaching, that's carried me through. And since I started teaching, I made a decision I was going to make one kid's day better every single day. And I was going to make one kid's week better every single week. And I was going to make one kid's life better every single year. I hope I did more than that. But I set out, like, that's my intent. And that's carried me, that's kept me going and thriving and enjoying my job. So what Ryan said is exactly true. We've talked about it off and on, and I hope as you can move forward, you'll remember, they're not your students, they're our students. And we have them for a little bit. So when they're with you, give it your all, but then realize you have to balance that out. And then realize the other thing is, don't build empires. That's what Whitney does. They build empires, not to throw them under the bus. But build bridges to other programs. Build bridges for kids to have opportunities. And that's my best advice. Except, enjoy every day. It's a cool job. We have a great job. It's a great career. And I'm looking forward to the things that are coming for me. I've got some cool opportunities. So the last thing is Mariano Rivera. This is for Rock. I assume that Rock and Greg and all, they all know who Mariano Rivera is. He's the greatest relief pitcher of all time, New York Yankees. First guy ever elected unanimously to the Hall of Fame. And I picked up a book. Ryan's right, I read a lot. I picked up his biography. And fascinating man. He grew up Catholic in Panama, married an evangelical woman, and followed that path. And it served him incredibly well. But I don't remember the year. I want to say 2003, but it's probably later. He gave up the winning hit in the World Series to Luis Gonzalez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here he is, the greatest pitcher of all time. And they asked him, how do you feel? How do you deal with this? And he said, I'm an imperfect man on an imperfect journey, doing the best I can. And there has not been a day since I read that I haven't thought about it. Because it gives me both the permission to be imperfect and it empowers me to keep working to be better. And it's like it was life-changing. What I want to finish is by saying thank you all for allowing me to be imperfect. You were overwhelmingly positive in that video, and I appreciate that. I think I know myself well, I know my strengths, and I know my challenges. And I won't say I've enjoyed every minute here, that would be fine. But the universe was incredibly friendly when it brought me to Rockland High. This was the perfect fit for me. So, thank you all so much. I will say this, Nancy nailed it before I heard her say, I'm not good at goodbyes. I'm not good at goodbyes either. But, so it's not goodbye. It's like Tara and I. When I see you, we'll just pick it up, okay? I thank you, I appreciate you, and I love you.
Campsite did show up, so campsite